Hello everyone and welcome to Lady Valreth Games. Unfortunately, Alice isn't going to be joining us for a while, but we still have Steve behind the camera. Hello,
Hi,
Steve. So yeah, we are going to finish up the third drop Combat Patrol magazines that we got. So we have issues 10 and we have issue 9. As you can see, issue 9 has 2 paints, and then issue 10 has a miniature, a paintbrush, and his stand. And this one is a librarian. So we are going to start with issue 9, and then we'll go through it, and then we will open up 10 and go through it. Alright, here we go. Alright. Alright, we have the 2 paints. We have Abaddon Black, which is extremely good and useful to have. And if you use a lot of black, you're going to be running through these quite frequently. I am on my 2nd bottle. But that's because I've been painting Black Legion. And then here is Retributor Armor. This is the other one that comes in. It's one of the first paints, and it's very good to have as well. So yeah, that's what's there. And we will put these aside. And give me a moment as we open that up. And we are going to go through the Combat Patrol magazine as a whole. All right.
Center.
Here we go. We have for painting everything, how to go about it, where you put all your Abaddon Black for the captain. And that's for the captain. And then we go in. This is the paint, how you get to go about painting him. Now, I already painted this one. I had the Ultramarines blue contrast paint, so I used that, and he turned out very well. Alright, so we are going to continue. There we go. And then this is also with your Infernus Marines and how they will look, and to the point where you're supposed to have them. And then we have over here the 2nd stage of everything that you were using for the Abaddon Black with the Winged Hive Tyrant. He is your HQ in your Combat Patrol, as where the captain is your one of 2 HQs for your Combat Patrol. The other one happens to be the librarian, which is in the next issue. And this continues on with the painting of how everything is supposed to look. And this is, again, you're painting the Abaddon Black everywhere. And this is the Leviathan paint scheme that you are learning to paint here. Now, being able to learn this paint scheme and then go from there as differently, you know, it's actually a good way to learn how to paint. I admire that, you know. And then you have the everything painted up as to what you need. Again, then we get into the different chapters of the Marines. You know, this is Ultramarines here, and then we have then we get into Blood Angels, Silver Templars, Space Wolves, and Dark Angels. That's just 4 of them. There are many others that are out there, you know, in the world of the Imperium. Then this is part of the Bounds of Honor story. That's part 2 that you're getting in this. In a moment. There we go. Then you go into your mission for the game. This one. This is the mission of Scenario 4, Pitched Battle. So, yeah, it gives you where you're supposed to set everything up and where everybody else is supposed to set up for fighting this battle. You know, got your Barb Gaunts, you have Termagants, and you've got the Von Ryan's Leapers. Not bad. Again, for me, I have 6 Von Ryan's Leapers, and that's a full squad. Yeah. And having that 6 together gives me a fairly decent attack. Again, I like how they are. I do like the model, and all of those models were really fun. You know, I even kind of messed up on one of the models when I put in the arms, but because of how it looks, it's still pretty freaking cool. And then we have the Tyranids turns, examples of the moves and what they're doing, you know. And then we go to, hey, if it's the Space Marine victory or the Tyranid victory. And again, the last page is having built up from the combat patrol into whatever else comes with it. So yeah, you know, and yeah, you get the Ultramarines. Is what is being painted as your base army to start with, you know, and it's a good chapter. They are a useful chapter. You know, they have Reboot Gilliman as their commander, and he's actually pretty cool. All right, now we are going to flip on in from 9, and we are going to go into 10. I'll set mine in there, and here we go, just so we don't. There we go. Now, here we have Combat Patrol issue number 10. We have here the Librarian, and this is an absolute blast of a model. Again, I have painted one myself, and it is in the color purple. And I will pull that up right now so you guys can see it. And this is my Librarian. I have a very purple color, and yeah, that's how my Librarian looks. And yes, this is the color for my army. It is all purple and like that, you know. My chapter is one that I'm building on, kind of like from the Lost Lore of the Primarchs, which now is starting to look like there's changes, but yeah, I'm saying it's from the Lost Primarchs. All right, yeah, we've got this brush here as well, and it is a base brush. Now, this is cool. This is my first one of these, so I will definitely paint using this for a while, and then I will give my review on it. And again, here is the model. The Power Axe is really fun to paint, and this is the base for our librarian. All right, let us get into the magazine itself. All right, this is the how to build, and it's an easy build. It took me, when I built it, probably about 20 minutes, you know, and that was even with the cleaning up of mold lines that I could, you know. So yeah, and then we go into the finishing up of building, and again, it's a really fun build. I enjoyed it. I want to make more librarians, but you know, this librarian is set for something else. And then we get into the how to paint. It gives you for the Macragge blue, and then it gives you into the Abaddon black, wherever that is, and then the Retributor armor for all of where we have the gold, and that's actually pretty cool, you know, to have that. And it gives you a decent lineup and instruction for everything, you know. And having this guide, when you look at it, it doesn't seem like it's a lot, but over time, each and every one of these models that you do get to put together and then get the build and all that done, it's, you know, if you don't know how to paint, this tutorial is absolutely smart, you know. It's a very smart way to learn how to paint. It is GW techniques, and yeah, they are worth it, if, as I said, just starting out. And then we have how the ecclesiarchy works within the Imperium. And I do believe that this just talks about what goes on and how it works. Because I haven't had a chance to read through this, you know, one of these days when I decide to go through and really put the binder together, you know, I'll probably go through and get everything put in the right way. But for right now, it's all just each one. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Shrines of Faith, Cult Imperialis. Yeah, so yeah, it just talks about a little bit about the Imperium itself, more details about certain areas. And then we have the Devastator Doctrine. There's a lot of lore that we are going to get in all of these. So be prepared for the amount of lore, you know, and different stuff that we're going to get. You know, the Brutalis Dreadnought is one of the premium models. I am so looking forward to getting that and putting that together. I am thoroughly excited on that one.
When do you get it?
I will get it when the rest of the Tyranids and Space Marines come through. So that should be around issue 18, 19, 20, right around in there. And then over here we have the Liberator, I mean the Librarian, and you got to give him a name and everything like that. So yeah, unit name, deeds that he's done to build the paint, you know. Here's his data sheet. Moment. There. And it gives you, he's got 5 toughness, he's got 5 wounds, so he can take a little bit of damage. He does have his abilities, that you can use. They really don't have a lot of psyker stuff going on right now, but hopefully things are going to start changing, because librarians are pretty much psychers. They have the ability to use and manipulate the warp. Again, you'll learn more about that through this and everything. All right, weapon abilities gives you for the pistol, rapid fire. The rules for that. Let me get that. Yeah. And then blast radius. Again, these are the rule concepts that are useful in learning and using. These are all on your data sheet that gives you, whether it's a heavy, devastating wounds, psych. These are on the data card, the data sheet. If we go back here and you look at these, down here, see, down here, all of this stuff that's down here, that gives you an idea of what it is. If you have in these here, that says like devastating wounds or something here out here in the edges, they got this is this, and then it says whatever that is. Can you read what that says? All right, gun. What does that state?
Witching. Witching.
All right. All right. Anyway, what this states, if it's like devastating wounds. Oh, yeah. See here. If you pull that out a little more, we might be able to see more. Let's see. Yeah, rapid fire, psychic, focused weapons. See, you have all this in this little, see here, rapid fire. This is the rules on how rapid fire works. Rapid fire, and then how that works is this. That's the rule for that specific ability for your ranged weapon. So those rules that they're teaching you as we go through the magazine, they introduce new things, each one, so that you can learn about them. And then we have heavy, devastating wounds. I said it's the psychic. Torrent is an absolute constant. This is what the Infernus Marines do. It's their specialty. It's like they just burn through everything, because Torrent goes over, it just takes out everything. And then assault, hazards, that's what you walk across or things that are in the way. And then we have our scenario number 6, mind over matter. And we have the single librarian down here in the corner. And then we have your Von Ryan's Leapers, the Winged Tyranid Prime, and the Termagants. Now, these guys are all about taking him out, so that's the point. If they repeat coming in, I'll be interested. It will give you that as a whole. And then as it keeps going, it gives you how it's supposed to proceed. And then if you lose a unit, what happens? And what doesn't? Alright. There's your battle tip down here. This is the example of the charge fight, which is the librarian into the Von Ryan Sleepers. Play on. And then we'll go on to the next page. Tyranid turn. And this is what they get to do. over here is what happens with their turn. You had the winged Tyranid Prime move its normal movement and then roll the 2d6 to see if it makes it into do the charge. They do the same here with their 6-inch move, and then they get to do their, see if they roll into charge. Do they both succeed? We do not know. Then, last page, we have Space Marine victory and we have Tyranid victory. Well, if the Tyranids win, that means the Space Marines weren't that tough after all. They are just a bunch of giant bugs they're going up against. And then, of course, we have the advertisement page of everything that can be built up to on both sides of the army of Tyranids down here and around, and then all of your Ultramarines right in through here. And that is the end of book 10. Now, we get 11 next week. Next one coming in, we'll have 11, 12, 13, and 14 come in. We'll get Korvax White, which I don't have. I'm looking forward to owning that one. And I will have Leadbelcher again. Another good one to keep on hand. And these are going to give us the Terminators. Yes, the 5 Terminators. So, if you like what you see, please hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. Again, thank you, and this is goodbye from Lady Valrith at Lady Valrith Games.